What's up, y'all? I was watching a video this morning about high sensitivity. I've talked a little bit before about I'm in the category of person called highly sensitive person, and there's research on it and stuff like that. But basically, my nervous system is highly sensitive in that I'm affected by stimuli a lot more than somebody that isn't highly sensitive. And what this often looks like, especially in kids, if maybe you were a kid that people would just say you're too sensitive, or they're just a sensitive child, or even as an adult, it's like, man, you're so sensitive. Like, why are you? Well, some of it is emotional or psychological, but really it comes down to my nervous system is incredibly sensitive. And that's not always seen as a positive, especially in our fast-paced, fast food culture. More is better, that sort of thing. But one of the things so for example, I'm very sensitive to light. Light is a stimulus that our nervous system is affected by, and that's not going to work. And so when I walk into a room, the lighting can be very effective in terms of it'll change my mood. Like right now, it's a beautiful day on Whidbey Island. It's January, and we usually have a lot of clouds and rain, gloomy days. And when the sun comes out, it's just like, oh, thank you. But that's one area that a lot of people are affected by, is like the amount of sun. So like if you live in San Diego or Phoenix versus Whidbey Island or, northern states, we don't get a whole lot of sunlight in the winter. And that can really cause problems for people. I recognize it, but what that looks like in the home is when I get home, I either have all the lights on or no lights on. If I do put on some lights, they have to be balanced. I don't like corners of darkness in the house. And my wife is so great about it. She'll walk in and just be like, and we've been really trying to conserve energy and be good about turning off lights and stuff. But another thing is noise, sound. I also have tinnitus. And if you're one of the many people that, I don't know if suffer is the right word, but deal with tinnitus, it can be really bothersome. Silence drives me insane. Like I can't just sit in a totally quiet room. It's very disturbing to me. So I have to have white noise or a fan on, or I'm a big basketball fan, so I'll just put on a basketball game in the background while I'm doing stuff, while I'm working. And then there's also sensitivity to others. So this is the one that tends to cause the most problems, is that I quickly attune to other people, and if they're in a great mood, then that makes it pretty easy, because I pick right up with them. Especially my wife, we're so connected and so in love and part of each other. When she's in a bad mood, I have to be really careful. There's other issues like codependence that I have to be careful of, but if I know that it's not got something to do with me, then it's a lot easier for me. We communicate pretty well. We have to work on communication, but if she's like, I'm just tired, worn out, drained, I'm like, okay. And it's as if it helps me tune into her and see if I can do something to make her day better. If it's something with me, that's a whole nother issue because I have to focus on just understanding that this is part of being in a loving relationship. But when I'm around people, if they're negative people, I mean, with my trauma and my CPTSD, I tend to live in a state of negativity, and I've gotten so much better about it. But yeah, I have to understand that what they're going through, what that person is going through, has got nothing to do with me, and recognize that they're just having a hard time. But the longer I'm with that person, especially if they're always negative, and there are people in my life that I've had to make sure I don't stay close to, like as far as frequency or duration, because it really does bring me down. But recently, like, we're going through a really hard time. I don't even know if I've covered it in one of my videos, but we're both in borrowed cars right now, because I think you can see there's trees that were in our front yard that fell, and they fell this direction of where we park and totaled both of our cars. Also hit the house. That was right before the holidays. And it was already a challenging time. I've been looking for full-time work. I still have my coffee business, and I've kind of pared that down to only wholesale. So that's still a passion for me that I'm doing. But in order to supplement our income, especially mine, because I'm not making anything, I'm trying to find work. But that's not the point. It's the fact that, I mean, I've applied for, I think it's 17 jobs, and been either turned down for the job or just never heard back, that sort of thing. So that's really disheartening. So when I'm dealing with issues like this, like struggles and hard times, I truly believe that they are a good thing. And the way that I handle them and the way I get through them, because I always do, there's valuable insight and knowledge and wisdom to be gained by going through those hard times. But when I'm in it, when I'm in the shit, it takes everything I have to just try and stay positive. And I've got so many issues just from, whether it's childhood or the repercussions of being a recovering addict, that makes every challenging situation that much harder. So one of the things about being highly sensitive is I need to tune into myself and see where I am and what I need to do in order to maintain calm and be compassionate to others. When I'm going through something hard, I tend to draw into myself, isolate, and just I become selfish in that I want to fix what's happening and what's going on, to the neglect of those around me. And unfortunately, my wife is the closest person to me. So, in the past, I've been not very good at maintaining that communication and openness with her. I just tend to shut down and go about my business and try and figure things out, when she can be a real anchor point for me, and understand that she's going through a hard time too. But that video this morning was about kind of setting yourself up in a way that you're taking care of your nervous system and your emotions and your mental state, with the understanding that I am highly sensitive. I'm more sensitive than others, so things bother me more. Things weigh on me more. And even those closest in my life, I take that on. being sensitive to others is a good thing, but reflecting on this from where I am in life now, I 100% see how addiction was a great tool for me, even though I had no idea what I was doing, why I was doing it. I just knew that I was an addict and liked changing the way I felt, because my default mode was usually negative and depressed and angry and all these emotions that are often seen as negative. They're not, but that became my default mode. And so I'm learning how to adapt, especially in challenging times, and sitting with these feelings, these emotions, because I'll wake up one day and just feel stuck and like, how in the hell am I going to get out of this? And what am I going to do? I'm doing everything I can. And then I catch myself, and I'm usually able to turn it around, but it can take some time. I mean, once I recognize it, then you have to factor in things like my critic, starts to kick in and like, see, why did you quit your other job? Why did you think that you could run a business and grow it so quickly? I don't know. Like that, I didn't set out to have hardships or whatever. That's not the way that I want to look at it. I want to look at it as, oh, okay, so this is the way it is now. And staying in the present moment, recognizing what's happening, what's going on. And yeah, I don't want to stay in it. So what's the best way, the most skillful way to move forward? Well, for example, one thing, get a job. Well, then I start applying for jobs and I get turned down, or the job is gone, or it's not what I thought it was, and it felt like that was the only thing I was dealing with and working on. And then these trees hit our cars and our house, and the old saying, kick a man while he's down type thing. That's exactly what it felt like. And then dealing with insurance companies. Oh my God, shame on you, insurance companies. Like, the way they go about it is all about what they can get, what they can not pay, or how they can only give you the minimum. I mean, phone call after phone call, and Megan's done more than I have, but it seems like we've both been dealing with that kind of stuff. And one thing after another has happened where if I continue to look at it the way I have in the past, it's just negative, negative, negative. And then a potential job will come up and I'll get excited about it. And then it's like, oh, wait, but no, I can't do that. Or, hey, we found someone that is more qualified, or you're overqualified, or and the thing that has kept me going through all of this is being able to communicate with Megan and stay connected to each other, because we're so in love and enjoy each other so much, recognizing when we are going through some really hard stuff, and just I have to be okay with her just feeling shitty. I never want that for her. I want to always come in and do something and just make her happy, make her laugh or whatever. And a lot of times what that ends up being is me wanting to feel better about myself and attaching my feelings and emotions to her current state. Well, that's codependent behavior. So I'm working on that and just trying to stay positive. Like today, this is so wonderful to have the sun. Like, if you don't live in this part of the country, you don't understand. And me being highly sensitive, the sun comes out and it's like the doors of heaven have opened, and I'm, oh. When it stays gloomy for a long time, it's like, oh man, I'm just tired all the time. Or so I guess the point of this video was I've just been working through trying to process what it means to be a highly sensitive person that's finally in touch with my emotions and my feelings and tuning into them and recognizing when they do turn negative, not changing it to avoid, but understanding them. And then, okay, how can I move forward so that I don't feel like this all the time? Addiction was a great tool because it was a very easy, quick fix. You reach for a bottle and like 3 beers in, I'm feeling much better about myself and about my situation. Or I'm like, fuck it, I don't really care. You know, that's probably 6 or 8 beers in. So I've come to a place where I love that I'm highly sensitive. Because I hated it when I first learned about it. I'm like, man, I got enough problems as it is. Now I have to be aware of being super sensitive about things and feeling deeply. And that means the good and the bad. And when there's a lot of negative happening, it's hard for me to pull myself out of that. But I'm getting better at it and finding that if I open up, if I get out, if I am around people, that's going to provide me with the view that, you know what, it's not all bad. And yeah, in the moment, what I'm going through is really hard. But a good way to let go of that for a little bit is just being around other people and just, even watching a funny movie, those sort of things. As long as I'm doing the things that I can do to change my situation, to dig out of what I'm currently in, then I can let go of the thoughts that this is so unfair. This is not how I planned my life. Well, it was kind of those expectations, setting myself up with expectations of, you know, what I thought was a perfect scenario, a perfect situation, perfect life, however you want to put it. Well, things go wrong. They do. That's just the way it is. But it's how I view those things and what I do after that that's the important thing. Not falling back into drinking to cope with my problems. Being able to just cry about shit. Because I cry a lot. I mean, I'm so sensitive, but when I'm going through hard times, I'm even more raw and sensitive. So if you deal with feeling like you're too sensitive, or, you know, you're overwhelmed and negative all the time, look at that maybe and see why that is. Just having a moment of reflection can help, and then reach out to somebody. Like, who are the people in your life that you feel are always positive, or generally speaking have a positive outlook on life, and spending time with them, maybe opening up to them, being vulnerable about where you are. That can really feel good, just admitting it to someone else. So anyway, just something to think about. And these are my thoughts on negativity and high sensitivity and addiction, trauma, and going through hard times. So hopefully you've got a few things out of this that might help you if you're in a situation like that. And just remember, I love you. There's always somebody out there that loves you. You're worthy of love, and you're worth working on yourself and trying to get to a better place of positivity and love and compassion and all those wonderful things. So have a great day.